Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Travis, aka Travesty. Arena of Solare Season 5 has just ended, and today I just wanted to react and review the top 100 and the top, 1 to 5 of each class. I've pretty much played with most people this season, and yeah, I thought it would just be a fun video to go through everybody on the top 100 as well as all the warriors. I also created, or I'll probably create a Google Sheet to take a look at, how many are in the top 100 of each class, etc., etc. But let's go ahead and go through this. First, we're going to look at the top 10. We got Aviel at rank 1, 66% win rate. He's an EU main. He came over to NA to play and just beat out Divios by about 24 points, it seems. One game difference between these two. Yeah, Deadeye was extremely strong this season, so it makes sense. Divios did a lot of games on stream, a lot of games off stream, but unfortunately, NA could not beat Avil. Armin was getting really close, but it looks like he had some, or based on his stream yesterday, he was getting a lot of 50-50 games, and but yeah. According to Armin, Suck Ninja's a C tier B minus class. So to be this high rated as a C tier B minus class is pretty impressive. Benny at rank 4 at 3163. He was like the rank 1 Awakened Drac last season. It just goes to show that he can play at least Awakened Nova, Awakened Drac at a very high level. 3.16k elo. And also, when I've talked to him about his, it's like 4 or 5 a.m. for him when he's playing on NA. So he's very tired. He's like pulling all-nighters to play on NA. Very impressive performance from him. And also just shows that I think he was the rank 1 Awakened Nova, beating all the NA Awakened Novas despite his super high ping. Alexander, 3158. I played with him a lot this season. It wasn't until the very end of the season where he seemed to pull ahead of the pack. But yeah, surprising. He calms sometimes, and yeah, Deadeye is very balanced, as you can see. Haro, he was probably my favorite Awakened Nova to play with. 3144, representing the NA Novas, and yeah, he got to 3K plus, and I think he's ranked 2, just right below, one game away from beating Benny on the Nova leaderboards. We got Blur, Sug Zerker. I think I played one game against him. He's very good at the checkmate grabs on Sug Zerk. Definitely showing rank 1 Zerk, by the way, and he used to be like a Suck Lon main, so just goes to show he can perform on both Suck Lon and Sug Zerk, and he actually beats all the other Sug Zerks by quite a bit of a margin. Mamo on his main, 3K, almost 3.1. Mamo looks like he lost 2 games near the end. If he had won those, he would have been 3.1K. But yeah, the best tamer on NA for sure. Played a lot of games this season, and pretty much every game I've had with him this season, he's been very stressed. I'll just leave it at that. Sessions, or Kobe, probably one of the best Awakened Zerks. Surprised Kev didn't play. I think Kev, Kobe, and Oni would all been like fighting for rank 1 Awakened Zerk. And potentially beat Blur, but Blur was like, look at that, 78% win rate. That's insane. Highest win rate in the top 10 for sure. And then at rank 10 we have Unsheath. Unsheath is another EU Nova. Neon. He's better known by as Neon. I think Unsheath was higher than Quisage on EU. I can't remember, but yeah, looking at the top 10, some pretty competitive players there. So let's go ahead and go class by class. We got Boba Buddy at rank 1 Warrior, as expected. And he also tanks rank 2 on Toaster PC with a 71% win rate. Bobo's probably one of the most egregious alt abusers, but he only took 3 spots this season in the top 100 um, with his Boba Buddy Toaster and then PKB. Aaron at rank 3. I played with Aaron a lot this season. I'm glad he was able to climb. Aaron's like very good. He's a very consistent warrior. You know, he doesn't play like he's pretty good at playing like a victim, whereas like some gold sometimes can't play like a victim. He has to play very aggro. But yeah, looks like we had 7 warriors in the top 100. I think the cutoff is 2431, and Hakei is EU ult. Gold had one of his ults here. So when it comes to ults in the top 100, 1, 2, 3 warrior ults in top 100, and then if you include EU, that's 4 warriors in top 100 that are ults. When it comes to hash, we have Heart King and Manuel at rank 1 and 2, and then Emmanuel's ult at rank 3. With Euro coming in at, I think Euro's at the cutoff for top 100. So 4 awakened hashes in top 100, one of which is an ult. I played with both Heart King and Manuel. These guys spam games. They didn't care really about like Elo. They just cared about having fun. Both were fun to play with, and yeah, not too much to say. Pretty solid hashes. I think Heart King's probably one of the people I fought that would grab me out of vacuum a lot, or just like disappear and then appear on my screen and CC me. Sage, Divios, loser 73 is Divios's ult, and he played Suck Sage to rank 1. It doesn't look like Sage was too competitive this season. Some people might know that there was Weasley up here around 2500. I think the rumor has it he played games out, but he would leave at the very end to get minus 35, and so he just play the full game, leave. So he wasn't griefing people as he went down, but only himself, and he took himself off the leaderboard. Why he did that, nobody really knows. Some think it's tilt, some think he just didn't want to show Awakening Sage performing, but if he was 2500 for like multiple weeks of this season, so he would have gapped the next best, which was Zethian, by like 600 elo. So, and he would have been the only Sage in top 100. Rangers, honestly didn't get to play with many Rangers this season. I guess the gear setup did not do too well for Ranger. And as you can see, Flannels is not on this leaderboard. Flannels quit the game a couple years ago. If Flannel was still playing, he'd probably be similar to Bobo on Warrior. He probably would have been able to get top 100. That being said, we got Greeds, Poogie, X the Sniper. I don't see Truthful anywhere. I played with Ana in like practice. We have Orca Whale. I don't know why Orca Whale would play on an ult. But it looks like Orca Whale's playing on an ult. Yeah, not too much to say here. No Rangers in top 100 this season. Guardian. Mercenary, rank 1. Guardian, gapping the next by 600 elo. I was hoping Mercenary would make it top 100. He calms. He's very good Awakened Guardian. Yeah, not too much to say here as well. We got our boy Zen down here at rank 10. I think Zen was in Twilight Spear for a while, but he just had a unlucky day, and I think after that day he just kind of gave up. I think Zen would be rank 2 or 3 if he calmed, but he doesn't calm because he doesn't have a mic that works for the BDO game, or he just doesn't like calming for AOS. But I think comms in general just add to your elo, especially when you're playing like Guardian. Scholar, we only have rank 1 ranks, 1 top 100 Scholar. Mlem, I play with Mlem, very solid Scholar. Doesn't calm at all, but pings. So if you imagine if he calmed, he'd probably be like 26, 2700. He was playing Awakened Lawn like middle of the season. So he played. I had him on both Scholar and Awakening Lawn. Which one was more annoying? I think his Lawn was slightly more annoying, um, but yeah, he was very solid. And then when it comes to rank 2 and 3, as you can see, he's gapping the next competition by 500 points, 500 points. So, yeah, very good, very good Scholar. Dracania, we got Precision at rank 1, only Dracania on top 100. Not really too much to say here. Flowers, I think he could have been top 100 as well, but I think he either got like really tilted or crashed out, or he just wasn't able to play as many games. I mean, knowing Flowers, he had time to play. He just didn't want to play. And look at how many games he played. He played like 600 games. But I think he was playing Deadeye in the beginning of the season, and he was able to climb pretty well in that class. And then he swapped over to Dracania like mid-season, and then I think he went down pretty far. And if you look at his win rate, it's below 50%. So, but I think when Flowers is playing well, he could have been at least ranked 2. But yeah, Dracania, not too much to say. Sork is probably the most interesting, or one of the more interesting class climbers. Grim and Yasuni were neck and neck for a while, both at being at like 2,500 sometime during the season. But then Yasuni, I think, mental boomed or crashed out, and then went down to like 2,100 to 2K. Whereas Grim, he kept his mental pretty strong throughout the season. I was kind of expecting Yasuni to make a last week push to beat Grim, or at least be competitive with Grim, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And as you can see, a 400 point disparity between rank 1 and 2. Arupero, I think this is an EU player. Can't remember. I know Luck is one. Did Luck even make it to the leaderboard? Doesn't look like Luck made it to the leaderboard. But yeah, not too much to say here. You know, we got 4 Radiant Spear Sorks, but only 1 Grim and the top 100. And I think Grim recently put out an Awakened Sork guide, so if you guys want to check that out, he's the rank 1. Other Grim, aka Isaac, very good Sork. Novas looked like we have 2 Novas from EU, Quizage and Neon, and then Haro, probably my favorite Nova to play with on NA. Very good calmer, very calm. And then we got Swips Cam, both NA Novas. Swips has the same gear score as me, so pretty good for having the same gear score on Cam at rank 5. Retrospec, I honestly played 1 game against him, but didn't see him too much. And then Rumpy, infamous Awakened Nova, played a lot of games with him and against him. Something to note is ASAP was a DK main for the past like 4 seasons. I think this is his first season trying out Awakened Nova, and looks like it went well because he made it to top 100, and as you can see, about 8 Novas were in top 100, 2 of which were EU Novas. Corsair, really not too much to go through here. We got our boy Leigh Fonda making it to Solare Incarnate, gapping the next Suck Corsair by like 700 points. But when it comes to top 100, no top 100 Corsairs. Leigh Fonda was 1 game off of the 24-31 cutoff. And he looked like he was on a win streak. So if he had won, he would have probably knocked Euro out of the top 100. Unfortunate, he was 1 game off of the top 100. But he still got Solare Incarnate. He should be very proud of that, especially on Suck Corsair. Every time I fought with him and against him, that man was chunking. He was big chip damage. Surprising to me, though, is that Awakened Corsair didn't make it to top 100. I think Awakened Corsair is pretty strong, and Arbris is definitely one of the best. But it seems it just couldn't happen for them this season. Lon, we got Twizzy, Yuki, Into versus Gray Blur. I think Gray Blur is Blur's Sucklon alt, maybe. Into is Azuria's Sucklon alt. I might be getting these two confused, but three Lons made it into top 100. Versus is another ult, I think. But Twizzy, Yuki, very solid Lons. I would say when it comes to the two, Yuki was more of a coin flip than Twizzy, and you can tell just by their win rate, but I played with Yuki a lot and against Yuki. It seemed like when he was on my team, a lot of the games we had, he didn't have a target, or our synergy wasn't well, but when he was against me, that man was grabbing me on repeat. Like, anytime I vacuum, he would grab me. So it seems like he plays pretty well into Mystic, but doesn't play well with the Mystic. Twizzy, didn't play too many games with him, but very solid. Another person that would grab me at my vacuum on repeat. Zerkers, pretty interesting. Where is Kev? Yeah, so Kev played 2 days. I think if he had played more games, he would have definitely been up here with the Oni and Sessions. But yeah, Blur, rank 1, highest win rate in top 100, highest win rate above 3K. He was like almost 100% win rate at one point. Former Sucklon main, very good player. I think I played against him only once this season. He wasn't playing too many games. He just kind of wanted to coast it. Kobe or Sessions, very good Awakened Zerk player. Streamed a lot of his games. I enjoyed watching him. It was fun to see what the Awakened Zerks do. Both Kobe and Oni started streaming this season. Both 3K, very good Awakened Zerkers. Probably one of the few Zerkers that... and all three of these Awakened Zerkers were really good, but Oni and Kobe were ones that streamed it, so I could see their thought process and how they spaced, and et cetera, et cetera. Choice, number 1 BDO streamer, and a similar gear score to me as well. I think he was 3K at one point, but very solid player. I think middle of the season he was like all the way down to like 2300. He was like lose streaking super hard. So the fact he can just like pick himself back up and make it all the way back up to 2900, pretty impressive. Omop, probably my least favorite Suck Zerker to play with. Very coin flip player. 2700 though, above me in the rankings. He had it looks like he had almost 1,000 games, if not 1,000. Yeah, it looks like he had 1,000 games. Omop is probably one of the people that I've had the most time to play AOS. You can tell by the amount of games he played. But yeah, he was very good sometimes. So not too much to say. He's otherwise known as Flop Mop in some games. But just look at how many games he played. Of course, his brain's going to be fried at some point. Forsen, I think this is Lucid on EU. I think on EU he's like 3,500. I forget. But Forsen, very solid Suck Zerk player. I'm surprised Murder is not on here, but maybe Murder got banned. But Forsen, Lucid, Murder, Osku, very good Suck Zerkers. Not too much to say about all three of these Zerkers, but Danny, Destroyer, the last Suck Zerker to make it, or the last Zerker to make it in top 100, 11 Zerkers in top 100. He is a Giga Chad. I think if he unlocked Beast Form, so he locks Beast Form. I think if he unlocked Beast Form, good chance he's just like up here. But surprisingly, he just locks Beast Form. Yeah. And then laps his Choice's ult. Potentially, if he had played on his ult a little bit more, he would have taken one of the spots in top 100 away from somebody else. Megu, Aviel's Megu ult, AV42, 2755. Respo, another EU Awakened Megu coming over to NA. Another top 100. And then Ronald J. Ronald J was playing Striker near the end of the season. I think he was like 2,800 at one point on his Awakened Striker. but it looks like he had a pretty bad loss streak on it. So he fell down, but he could have taken rank 1 if he had stopped queuing. Unfortunate. Miss NA, pretty, doesn't calm, but pretty solid. And then Chaos, I played with quite a few games. I think Chaos has an ult in top 100 as well. I am Chaos, so these two are the same person. Pretty solid, no comms though, so if you calm, probably would have been like 2700. Kevin's waifu sounds like an ult, but I don't know who it is. I didn't play with them too much. And then Azurlia at the bottom here, 10 Megus in top 100. Azurlia played a lot on his lawn, I believe. If he had played more on his Megu, there was a good chance he would have been fighting Avi for rank 1. He's a very solid BDO player in general, similar to Blur. Both were Sucklon mains. And I think if I had to bet, I think Azurlia would have taken rank 1 if he played more. But, completely biased opinion. Tamer, Mamo ult. It looks like Mamo's ult got ran down, or Mamo wasn't playing too well on the last day. But yeah, 5 losses in a row on his ult. Still rank 3 and 1. And then we got Len. Len played on his main the whole season, streamed most of his games. Very ethical player. I would say Mamo's the best tamer, but when it comes to like comms and stuff, he's probably the most stressed person I comm with. Like Cam is like up there, but Mamo's like extremely stressed when he's playing AOS. Like it doesn't sound like he's having fun at all. So that's just something to think about when you are common. Maybe be a little more calm instead of like extremely stressed out, because when you're super stressed, you stress your teammates, and potentially, me personally, I play worse when like somebody's stressing me the fuck out. So Mayhem, 70% win rate. I played with him once. Very solid tamer. I played against him. He beat me. I think if he had played more games, he would have been fighting Mamo for rank 1. I think Mamo still beats him, but I think Mayhem would be just as much as a challenge as Len was. Daily, K-Tech, Azri, didn't play with these guys that much, so not too much to say here outside of that. Okay. Shy, just gonna skip that. Striker, Divios, he was 1 game away from beating Aviel, but Divios is the guy. Very good striker, number 1 striker streamer. I reach out to him for advice all the time, especially given I play Awakening Mystic. So our classes, while not the same, are pretty similar when it comes to build and advice and stuff and so on. But yeah, rank 1. This is probably the biggest surprise to me, is Discombobulate taking rank 2 and 3. If I had to rate it based on, my opinion, it would have been Pig and Chief at rank 2 and 3. But it looks like Discombobulate just did better. I mean, 72% win rate on his ult, 60% win rate on his main, both above 3K. And looks like Pig and Chief play just as many games as his main, if not more, but were unable to get that win rate, win streak, whatever. So Pig and Chief just at rank 4 and 5. But Pig and Chief, I think, are rank 2 and 3 when it comes to like just my experience. And then we got Disto as well, as Disto and Deegs. I think Disto could have been up there. It doesn't look like he played too many games. And then we have Deegs as well. He didn't play too many games. And I didn't play against him that much either. Verde, only suck striker above like 2100. I think he's probably a striker I saw the most. But outside of Divios, I fought Divios quite a few times and he beat my ass. But yeah, Verde, suck striker, only suck striker to really be a threat in the top, to be top 100. But yeah, striker, about 7 of them were top 100 this season. Musas, I want to say Tubby carried me in one of my games this season. I think he like 1v2'd and carried. It was like one of my win streak games too. Very good Awakened Musa. But Forest and Suna, Suck Musa is very solid. Suna and Forest were a lot closer, so Forest Hunter must have taken the cake near the end of the season. But I think when it comes to just how good they are, both were very solid players when they're on my team. Outside of that, I didn't play with Nazu, Trep Excel, Musa that much. I did play with Trilogy. I think he was like 2,400 plus at one point, or maybe 2,100 plus, but looks like he started losing quite a bit. And then outside of that, none of these other Musas I really played with too much this season, so not too much to say. Meiwa, this is probably the most surprising. Pinks is one of the best Meiwa players I played with. So is Akari, but Pinks is probably the one that communicates a bit better. And when it comes to Elo, I think he was 2,800 at one point. Like just a week ago, he was 2,800. So for him to fall 400 Elo on the last week of AOS and not get top 100, that's a tragedy. I think he's a very good player, one of the scariest Meiwas to fight. And yeah, I'm playing Awakened Mystic, so like I counter his class, and even then it's pretty scary about how he punishes people's grab attempts, etc., etc. But looks like he took rank 1, and I think that is deserved. Akari, rank 2. He was playing 3 classes this season. I think if he kept playing Deadeye, he would have been, maybe 2,800, 3K plus. But he swapped to Suck Meiwa at some point, and as you can see, his Suck Meiwa win rate was below 50%. I think Akari rivals Pinks when it comes to just being good at Meiwa, but when it comes to like class knowledge and team play, I think Pinks just has the edge. But that's just my opinion. Akari's very solid. He's won tournaments and very good player, very experienced. And then I don't know who best Meiwa NA is, but had a couple games with him, and I don't think I played with too many of these other Meiwas this season. But yeah, Pinks, tragedy. I was hoping he'd be like 2,800. All right, Mystic, this is my class. We got France at rank 1 and France's ult at rank 2. France was contesting multi for rank 1 for quite a bit in the beginning of the season. Very solid player. I've heard some stuff about him, but never seen it personally about the racist remarks. But all my experiences with him have been cordial. He's been pretty PG. But yeah, very good performance near the end of the season. He was within like 150, 100 elo of the top rank 1 between me and Multi, and then he seemed to take the cake on his main and on his ult. So very good climb from him. And then myself at rank 3. This season, I think we'll do a review of my own gameplay. I think I was a little bit more consistent than last season, but Awakened Mystic was very strong this season. Thunder Pound looks like he was able to get 2,600 again. He was like all the way at 2,400 a few days before season close, so he was able to make it to rank 4 on Suck Mystic, the worst spec. And then we have my fanboy, Travesty Fanboy. This is Nekinator from EU. It looks like he was able to climb pretty far, and if he had won his last game, he might have edged out Thunder Pound for the rank 1 Suck Mystic. Kevin, Soul, OG Awakening Mystic. I think when it comes to experience and skill, he edges me out for Awakening Mystic, but RNG and the Qs kept him down. Killua, it shows him as Suck Mystic, but I guarantee you he was on Awakening Mystic to climb for most of the season, and all the other classes he played, he was like losing. So yeah, he basically climbed with Awakened Mystic. Any other class here was negative win rate, Suck Mystic included. We got Multi down here at 2,500. Multi was probably the favorite by most people to take rank 1. But I think he just got pretty unlucky near the end of the season. Him and I were rank 1, 2 with France rank 3. We were fighting for that for a little bit. I think on EU he actually got rank 1 at like 3k elo. But on NA he had some bad queues, and so he fell pretty far from the rank 1 spot. Then we got Faye, Palms. Not too much to say about these two. I think both of them don't calm, so if they calmed, you could expect like plus 200 elo. They would have been up here contesting me for the 3rd ranked spot. And then we got our homegirl Jazzy Sensei Kuma Queen at rank 11 and taking the last spot in the top 100. Jazzy was quite played a lot of games. You know, went from 2,100 to 2,500 in one day to tank like rank 1 or 2 at one point in the season, and then went back down to 2,100. And I think she messaged me today to say she made it to Solare Incarnate, and then lucky behold, she actually made it to Solare Incarnate and top 100. And look at that. That win streak must have been huge for her to get her goal. And she made it top 100, and she made it Solare Incarnate. So, a very good player. One of my friends. Happy to see that she made it. Honorable mention is Creamy. This guy beat me last season. I don't think he calms, but if he did calm, I think he'd be, comparable to. He'd be contesting me for rank 3. And honestly, it looks like he just had unlucky queues because Creamy, plays similar. All Awakened Mystics at the end of the day probably play pretty similarly. When it comes to skill, it's just really how much do you know about other classes, positioning, etc. that like divides us. But yeah, unfortunately, I think he was like 2,600 at some point, so he must have had a very unlucky last day of queuing, which knocked him out of top 100. But he still got a Solare Incarnate, so good to see that. And I think 11 Mystics in top 100. I think out of all the classes were up there with Zerks. So how many? So only one ult here, right? Yeah, only one ult. Zerkers had, I think, a couple more ults from EU. But yeah, 11 Mystics in top 100. A very strong showing. 6 of them of which were Awakening Mystics. All right, Valkyrie. Valkyrie is pretty interesting. We have Corgi, Canadian Corgi at top, rank 1, Awakened Valk. This guy, very solid calmer, very calm. He doesn't stress me out at all. Probably one of my favorite Valks to play with. I don't think our win rate was really high, to be honest. But I think I'm not really used to PA, SA heals. If I played with Valkyries more often, maybe we'd have a better experience. Because I think Awakened Valk, Awakened Mystic is a pretty strong combination. I just don't have too much experience playing with them. But yeah, very good Valk. I played with Despair Bro a lot more than Corgi, but Corgi was very solid. I think he ran Sakuras too, so he was a confident Awakened Valk player. And then we have our boy Paladin, aka Wicked Wazer, hitting 2894, 7 points away from taking rank 1 away from Corgi on much worse spec. And then Azray, his Suck Valk ult at 2861. So Wazer or Paladin almost took rank 1 and 2 or 3 away from Corgi, but alas, it did not happen. He was one game away. And it looks like he went on a huge win streak on both his ult and his main near the end of season. We were closer in Elo like a couple of days ago, maybe like 3 or 4 days ago, but he really took himself away from the main pack and was able to really climb super high on the Suck Valk. And I think a lot of people, like the next Suck Valk here is at 1,500. So when it comes to gap, the Suck Valk gap here is 1,300 elo. This is probably the largest gap in elo on any spec class spec. So he just shows how good he is. So very, very deserved. Bloodpaw, EU ult, and then Despair Bro. I played with him a lot, and just like his name, this man was Despair most of the time. But I think he's a very solid player. If he wasn't always in Despair, he probably could have been in a contender for one of these rank 1 through 3 spots. But yeah, and then Vuo's Corgi's ult. Looks like if Corgi had started playing on his ult earlier, because I think Corgi was like 2,900 for most of the last half of the season, he might have been able to take a spot in the top 100, as well as if he's having a bad day on his main, he could play on his ult. And I think that's what Wizard did. He balanced both his ults pretty well, so that he always positioned himself to climb, essentially. It's like having a backup. I think having an ult is just advantageous if you care about the elo and care about placements. I think ults are very good for that. Unfortunately, he did take a spot from somebody in the top 100 with his ult. Kuno, we got Flooring at 2888. You know, this guy was the scariest Kuno. I think some JK Isol Flooring, I think some of the games we had together didn't go too well. But I think he's like super high damage, blast build, very solid, scary when he has the E buff up. And yeah, one of the top Kuno players, and then only Kuno to make it in top 100. Chakram feed ended up not making it into top 100 this season, but Chakram did get his Solare Incarnate. Very solid player. I played with him more on his Opie Queen Awakened Zerker than I did with him on his Kuno. But yeah, and then Muffin, I saw him a couple times. Pretty solid. Again, didn't make it to top 100, so only one Kuno. And then Coffee Bean, I think, is Flooring's ult. I think he was playing like Zerker or some shit in one of my games. And yeah, we lost that. All right, Ninja. We got Armin at the top. He was a few games away from being rank 1. Again, Armin says Ninja is a C tier or B minus tier class, so look at how good he is. Almost 3,200 elo on a C tier class. Pretty insane. Kiwi, never heard him talk, but he was killing it on the Awakened Ninja. So 2 ninjas in top 100, and then Author was Blur's ninja ult, I believe, and it looks like he was like 2 games away from getting top 100, but kept his Incarnate. Pretty good. Outside of that, didn't really see too many of the other ninjas here, but Boonsaw was Armin's Awakened Ninja ult until Armin did not play Awakened Ninja. But yeah, pretty stacked. Well, only 2 of them made it to top 100 this season. But Armin at the top as usual. Dark Knights were cooking this season. We got 4 Incarnates and 4 top 100 DKs. Agony, Zaya, Muzaya, Autumn Leaf. I think Muzaya was probably the most communicative of the 4, and he's the only Awakened DK in the top 100. He should be proud of that. I think he was like on a lot of tilt whenever I played with him. But yeah, pretty solid DK leaderboard. All of them were pretty solid. A lot of them didn't communicate at all. So interesting to see how high they were able to get without saying a single word in voice comms. Yeah. Death Grips does comm, but unfortunately it looks like he was unable to make it to Incarnate or top 100 this season. Wizard Huntler, only Wizard in top 100, and Incarnate as well. Very solid Wizard. Definitely expected him to be rank 1. Untouch, pretty solid. Suck Wizard as well. I think I've seen him like throw a few people's games though, just like put his weapons away. And I think Rice Ball is his ult. But the games I had with him this season, he was pretty solid. I think he's just somebody who tilts pretty quickly, and so if you tilt him, he's probably just gonna throw your game. But yeah, Huntler makes sense to me. Top 100. All right, we're getting close to the end. Archer. I didn't play with any of these archers, not gonna lie, except our boy Washed. Where's Washed? Bro, where is Washed? Did he change his name? Dude, where is Washed? I don't see him on here anymore. He was the only one I played with. Very solid archer. It was tilting pretty much every game I played with him. Maybe he deleted his account. But yeah, all these other archers didn't play with too much. And I think some of them are cheaters. What, that Scholar? Nah, he's not cheating there. Awakened Sork? Maybe 50% win rate, higher than his archer win rate. And then this guy was the only true archer main on the leaderboard. But yeah, not too much to say about archer. Similar to Shy. Not that great this season. Wusa. Honestly, didn't play with any of these guys. But it looks like... yeah, it looks like one... it looks like Wusa is another one similar to Sage, which the rank 1 was kind of free. Not 100% free, but kind of free. Witch, this is probably the most egregious leaderboard. So Domfang is a true Witch main. He should have been rank 1 Witch. Filmic was abusing Awakening Mystic. Pretty much every game since like 2100 or 2200, he was probably playing Awakened Mystic to climb. And as you can see, he was able to keep his Witch because he played more Witch games than he did Mystic. But he was getting close to... he played more games on... almost more games on Mystic than I did. But he had so many Suck Witch games, he shows up on this leaderboard. So yeah. Not a true rank 1 Suck Witch. He would have been like rank 9, 8 Mystic. But yeah. He didn't calm either. I think if he calmed, he would have been pretty far up there. And for somebody who's picked up the class like last second, yeah, it just shows how strong Awakened Mystic was this season. Dosa. We got Suck Dosa here play, my homie. Only Suck Dosa in the top 100, and the last Dosa to make it. So 4 Dosas made it to top 100. Very close spread here in the rank 1, 2, 3. I think Rujinx is the best Dosa of these 3, but as you can see, Combat Davin took the cake by 2 elo here, and then like 1 game away from Davin, and Davin was even losing. So yeah, pretty close spread here for the rank 1s through even rank 1 through 4. I'm not gonna lie, this whole leaderboard right here was pretty competitive for rank 1. Unfortunately, Ryujinx was able to take the rank 1. I think he probably would have gotten it. Out of everybody, I think he was probably the most deserving. But that's just my opinion. Lastly, we have Deadeye. What can you say about this class? Avial from EU. Good player on a OP class. He took rank 1 away from Divios. We got Alexander. I played with Alexander quite a bit. He comms, solid Deadeye, I guess. 3158. Pretty fucking huge. He had 800 games played. That's insane, though. But yeah, I played with Alexander the most out of this leaderboard. Norelio, Suck Sage main in previous seasons, playing Deadeye this season. Looks like he had a really good climb. 2820. Very solid. Spring Dew, 2700. What's amazing about Spring Dew, I played games with him, he doesn't calm at all. So a lot of the games we had with him, or I had with him, I lost because he just wouldn't communicate that he didn't have V or he was alone. Demo was another Deadeye I played a lot against and with. He calms, though. I think Demo being below Spring Dew is kind of sad, but it is what it is. You know, it looks like he had a really bad loss streak near the end. DQ7 never played with Carl. Never played with Carl is a Awakened Musa man from EU. This is his NA ult, but it's not a true ult because he has some gear on it. So it's not like the other EU players that just have a AOS count. He actually played on NA, has like a decent amount of gear on his character. So he's not like a true ult to me. But yeah, he plays two accounts. Another person here is Marks, Sork main before. He barely made the cut for top 100. And yeah, looks like he played some Sork. His main is like not, and played Deadeye and got to top 100. I think this is his first season top 100. So congrats to my homeboy, Marks. But yeah, that basically covers it. A lot of good players. I think this season was a lot of fun. When it comes to how many ults were in this season, I think there was a close to about, 11, 12 ults. 18 ults if you include EU. So 18 people could have got top 100, but those spots were taken by ults. Anyways, guys, that's been my reaction and review of Arena of Solare Top 100 Season 5. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.